Hello, grade 7, specifically 7B. This is a lesson that you guys were not able to get before the school shut down. So this is going to be your lesson 6.1. It's not too hard. It's fairly simple. Okay. Here on the board, we have 4 possible questions. Okay. What we're first going to talk about is what is the difference between an equation and an expression. Okay, so let's think about this in terms of English. How can you express yourself? You can express yourself in many different ways. You can have different emotions to help express yourself. You can use different words to try to express yourself. An expression in math has many possible answers. Okay? An expression in math has many possible answers. An equation in math will only have one. Alright, so what we have up here, and when we think of the word equation, there's a word that's very similar in equation, and that is equals. So if we see an equal sign, then it's an equation. And an equation can only have one answer. Okay, when we were talking about expressions before, we were saying we would have an input and an output. If we put in this, then the answer would be this. And there's many possible things that we could have put in. We could have put in 1 for x, or 2 for x, or 3 for x, or 5,000 for x. Any one of those numbers that we would have put in would have given us something different. Okay? So, for example, when we look, let's start up here. We have 4x plus 3. Do we know exactly what 4 can be? No, it can be absolutely anything. Okay? If we were to put 1 in for the x, we would say 4 times 1 is 4 plus 3 is 7. If we were to put 2 in for x, we could say 4 times 2 is 8 plus 3 is 11. Okay, it has many possible answers. Now let's look over here. We have 2x plus 6 equals 18. There's only one possible answer that will give us the correct thing. Okay, what can we multiply 2 by and then add 6 to it to get to 18? There's only one possible solution for that. Okay, and then we look down here, we have 3x equals 15. Okay, we're saying that it has to equal something. So something times 3 is going to equal 15. And then this last expression, is 19 plus 2x. If we were to put 1 in for 2, our answer would be 21. If we were to put 2 in for 2, our answer would be 23, and so on and so forth. So there's many possible answers for our expressions. Okay, but what we're actually talking about now, what we're going to be using, is we're going to be using equations. And we're going to be solving those equations. So equations have an equals sign. Okay, now I know a lot of you are looking at it and you can automatically say, okay, well this one, x is going to be 5. 3 times 5 equals 15. Fantastic. Great job. Okay, this one you might say, okay, well 2 times 6 is 12 plus 6 is 13, or is 18. Great. Okay, I'm glad you figured that out. However, what we're going to do is we're going to do some trial and error to try to figure out what it is. Okay? So, if at any point you need to pause this lesson and just go back and rewind, you have that ability. Okay? Use it. Okay? If you don't understand something completely and you want to hear it over again, go ahead. Okay? There's no rush. You can kind of take the lesson at your own pace if you need to slow down. Okay? So let's take an example. Okay? So where we might use trial and error, I'm going to start easy and then I'll give you some that'll be a little bit more challenging. Okay? Let's say we have 4x plus 3 equals 43. All right, so what can we do? We can actually start putting numbers in for x and see what we get. So 4 times a number plus 3 needs to equal 43. Let's start with 1. Pretty simple. So 4 times 1 plus 3, okay? It's supposed to equal 43. Well, let's do it. 4 times 1 is 4. 4 plus 3 is 7. 7 equals 43? No, it's too small. Okay? Too small. Let's try something a little bit bigger. Okay? Let's try, instead of 1, let's put in 20. Okay? 4 times 20 is 80. 80 plus 3 is 83. Does it equal 84? No, it's too big. Okay, so I tried 1, I tried 20. I know that my answer has to be in between these two. Okay, well, let's try something a little smaller. Maybe let's try 15. Okay, 4 times 15 is 60. 60 plus 3 is 63. Still doesn't work. Okay, it's still too big. Okay, 63 is bigger than 43. Okay, so it has to be smaller than 15. Let's try 5. Okay, let's keep trying. Let's try 5. 5 times 4 is 20. 20 plus 3 is 23. No, that still doesn't work. Okay, what else can I try? Well, how about I go in between? Okay, I'll go right in the middle. So let's try 10. Okay, what happens when I do 10? 4 times 10 is 40, plus 3 is 43. Okay, I can now say in this situation, x is going to equal 10. That is going to be my answer. Okay, I'm going to continue to do it trial and error. I'm going to see what's too big, what's too small. Okay, so then my answer ends up being 10. Once I figure out kind of a range of what's too small and what's too big, then I can play around. I know it has to be in between. Okay? It would be silly for me to say, all right, I tried 20, it didn't work. It was too big. I'm going to try 100. No, don't try 100. Okay? You already were too big. Now you have to go smaller. So you're trying to narrow that range down until you actually find one that works. Okay? I'm going to give you guys one. Feel free to pause the video. Try it on your own. Okay? Try to figure out exactly what the answer is. Okay. Let's go. 7 times n plus, actually, I'll make it a little bit harder. Minus 5 equals, okay, let's go, equals 86. Okay, try this on your own. I'll give you guys a little bit of time. Feel free to pause the video because I'm just going to continue in case you don't pause it. Okay, so let's try. I know that 7 times 10 is 70, and I'm trying to get close to 86. I'm going to start with 10. Okay, so 7 times 10 minus 5 should equal 86 is my goal. I'm not saying that this should equal it. I'm saying that's my goal. That's what I'm trying to get. 7 times 10 is 70 minus 5 equals 65. Does not equal 86. Okay, so let's try something else. So 10 is too small. I need to go bigger than 10. Okay, because my 65 is smaller. I need to go bigger than 10. Okay, let's try something different. I'm going to go to 15. Okay? I'm not going to go too big. I'm just going to try to go up until maybe I figured out that I'm a little bit too high. So 15. Okay? 7 times 15. Well, 70 plus 35 is 105. Minus 5 equals 86. I end up getting 100. 100 does not equal 86. So 15 is too big. So it has to be in between 15 and 10. Okay, so let's try, I'll try somewhere in the middle, 13 or 12. Okay. I'm going to try 12. Let's start there. So 7 times 12, well 7 times 10 is 70. And then 7 times 2 is 14. So 70 plus 14 is 84. 84 minus 5 equals 86. I end up getting 79 does not equal 86. Okay, so 12 didn't work. It is too small. 79 is smaller than 86. I'm getting close though. Now let's try 13. I feel like I'm getting very, very close. So 13. So I asked myself, what's 7 times 13? Well, 7 times 10 is 70. 7 times 3 is 21. 70 plus 21 gives me 91 minus 5 equals 86. 91 minus 5, 86. So I can say that n equals 13 in this situation. Okay? So this is essentially what we're doing. We're doing trial and error to try to calculate the answer. Try to narrow it down. I started with 10 and 15, and then I tried to find out that 13 was the number that I was looking for. Okay? We can keep going that way. In the meantime, I want you to work on Math Makes Sense 6.1. If you have any questions, you can send me an email, and then make sure that you answer the questions in the Google Forms, just so that I know that you have done it. They're not going to be difficult questions. It's just more of an exit slip so that we know at the school who's doing their work and who isn't. Okay? Thank you very much. Good luck, and make sure you get that Math Makes Sense done. I don't want you to forget everything.